Good morning. Happy Friday, as we like to say. Oh yeah, taking a live look outside this morning, downtown Denver and Ball Arena. Expecting another really nice day today to end out your work week in the 60s. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey Rose here with Jordan, Erica, and Ed.
Oh my goodness, hasn't it felt so great outside this week?
Oh, it was lovely yesterday. But let's talk about Kentucky.
Okay, yes.
Yes, let's talk about Kentucky.
Let's talk about how they ruined my bracket.
What happened?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. A lot of people's brackets.
Yes, but as far as the weather goes, it is going to be another nice day. Just a few degrees cooler than we had yesterday. We'll be about 63 after 67 yesterday, and it did get a little breezy in the afternoon. Could see that again today. So as we look outside, 36 degrees at this hour. So the temperature's pretty nice with 20s, 30s, even a few 40s across the state at this hour. 63 degrees, partly sunny skies. We're going to be mild today. Then for tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, breezy, maybe a late shower, but look at the high, 68 degrees. Then on Sunday, a cold front comes on through, 54 degrees with showers, maybe a thunderstorm. Another surge of cold air on Monday. Look at this, 38 degrees, chance for snow showers. 48 degrees Tuesday, scattered showers around. And then Wednesday, 57 and partly cloudy skies before another system comes our way Thursday.
You had to add that in
I
there,
kind of
right?
did.
Yes, of course you did. And thank you. Before we get a look at your commute with Erica Lopez, we have an update on the Dahlia Street Bridge over I-76. CDOT says a lane of the bridge will stay closed until the fall. On Monday, a tractor trailer hit the bridge over the interstate in Commerce City and caused some damage. The lane that was closed on westbound I-76 under the bridge has reopened. The northbound lane on the bridge will be closed for months while crews do repairs, but CDOT says the bridge is safe to drive on. CDOT's suggestion to get around that lane closure is to go east on 47th to Vasquez, then head north to I-76 and take it to the 88th Avenue exit, then head west on 88th back to Dahlia. Erica?
Yeah, Corey, we know that has been a big headache the first earlier days of this work week. Thankfully, yesterday by the morning commute, 76 was back open and moving as usual as far as like Corey was talking about with Dahlia Street. There is still a lane open on the overpass, so it's still passable, but of course, workarounds are always an option. Yesterday, we really didn't see any congestion on that Dahlia overpass during the morning drive, so that is really, really good news. What's not good news, if you are traveling in the mountains right now on eastbound I-70, you're going to have some trouble doing so. We've got a crash that has us shut down in Silverthorne, so we can see the blockage right here. CDOT is saying the closure is actually up at mile marker 210, and this is at 204 where they're already starting the closure. I've been watching this camera since about 4:30 this morning, watching people detour off. You can see more flashing lights here on the other side here at one of our other Silverthorne cameras. So that stretch is not passable. We're going to talk about a workaround in a moment. I-25 and 23rd moving nicely in the metro as you get ready to travel along 225 and DTC Boulevard. No problems to report. So taking you over to the graphics right now, Loveland Pass is open. That is going to be your best workaround option at this time along eastbound I-70. But you do need, we do have active chain and traction laws for semi trucks, any sort of vehicle, passenger vehicles traveling that way. So make sure you've got snow tires, snow mode, all-wheel drive, or chains if you're going to be traveling along Loveland Pass as that workaround. Rest of the metro looking just fine. Denver to Boulder commute 17 minutes on westbound Highway 36.
All right, Erica, thank you. It is now 5:04, and today marks 1 year since a student shot 2 deans at East High School while he was being patted down for weapons. Both deans survived. Austin Lyle had left another district over weapons issues, but DPS only started patting him down for weapons daily after another student reported seeing him with a gun in class. The deans, Eric Sinclair and Gerald Mason, have filed notice that they plan to sue DPS. The shooting sparked outrage and action from parents worried about safety. Now, since the shooting, pat-down procedures were changed.
Right 90's reporter Brianna Fernandez joins us live from East High School, and Brianna's school staff no longer does those pat-downs.
Yeah, that's correct. So since last year, Denver Public School District, they changed its policy on who exactly conducts these pat-downs, these searches for students. Now, school administrators no longer have to do these pat-downs unless it's for vape pens or drugs. Now, when it comes to weapons, that completely changes. According to the school district, those are now conducted by armed district patrol officers. DPS calls this team the Climate and Safety Team. Denver Police and the school district also get notified. And I asked DPS DPS to talk more about these changes that were made. They declined to go on camera, but here's what we received through email saying, in part, the school would simultaneously begin the discipline process. If a weapon is found, the student will immediately be suspended. They also could be in jail and unable to go to school. Now, a records request last March shows Austin Lyle was one of 41 students who needed pat-downs across about 30 schools in DPS. 1 year later, and that number is still pretty close, 34 students. Now, those two deans who were shot last year are planning to file a lawsuit saying the district knew about safety concerns and gaps in safety policies, but our 9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson says it might not be an easy argument for them to make.
What will make this an uphill climb for the two deans is that the Governmental Immunity Act does not waive immunity for actions such as these. While a school district might be liable for a dangerous condition on their playground, they are not liable under the Governmental Immunity Act as a matter of law for failing to prevent an assault.
Now, last year, 3 students, including Lyle here at East High School, were required to get these pat-downs. As of last month, there were 0. Now, according to the district, they are working to reevaluate their discipline matrix, so it allows students suspected of violence to return to mainstream classes. We are expecting an update later this spring. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Brianna, we appreciate the update. Thank you.
Right now, Lakewood police are looking for a woman accused of assaulting a man at an RTD light rail station. They know who she is. They just haven't found her. Take a look. Investigators say on the night of February 13th, the victim was waiting to get on the light rail at the Wadsworth station when 2 women asked if he had cigarettes. Police say when the victim said no, one of the girls yelled at him, punched him, and held him down by his hair. They say the other woman yelled racial slurs at him. Since releasing their pictures, one of the women turned herself in, but Lakewood police hasn't said which one. They still ask if you have any information to call Crime Stoppers.
This morning, a man is recovering from what Denver police call a serious stab wound. The incident happened in a busy part of Cherry Creek. Investigators say that it started Wednesday afternoon with 2 men arguing near 2nd and Fillmore. They say that one of them stabbed the other, then drove off. The manager of a nearby store, which happens to be a knife store, saw what happened and ran to help the victim.
Yeah, so it definitely is kind of tragically ironic that there was a stabbing right in front of our knife store. We've all cut ourselves pretty badly here, given it's a knife store. So I just knew the supplies we had and knew it could at least help, and to put pressure until someone shows up if it's a really deep wound.
Well, thank goodness for him and his knowledge. The worker says that paramedics got there within 15 minutes, but he did what he could in the meantime, like cleaning and putting pressure on the wound. While his injuries are serious, DPD doesn't believe that they are life-threatening. Right now, nobody is in custody for the stabbing.
Think about all the times you've driven by a construction site. With the giant new neighborhoods and development, it's happening everywhere these days. But at the same time, there is a growing health concern that's only been getting worse.
Construction's a hard industry. It's tight budgets, tight deadlines. It's hard on people's body that are doing the physical labor.
Now some companies are changing the way they support their employees to save lives. Coming up at 6 a.m., 9 News reporter Anusha Roy takes a look at overdose and suicide rates within the construction community and why it's so much higher for this specific industry. Xcel is facing a mountain of lawsuits for the Marshall Fire from homeowners, local governments, and insurance companies.
Yeah, those claims are set to go to trial next year, but both sides are split on how to hear arguments from thousands of plaintiffs and how to award damages if Xcel loses. Nearly 4,000 plaintiffs are suing Xcel because investigators found a power line likely sparked one of the Marshall Fire's 2 ignition points. In court filings last month, Xcel asked for the case to be moved to Jefferson County, arguing that it would be too difficult to find an unbiased jury in Boulder County. The judge has not ruled on that just yet. Both Xcel and the attorneys for the plaintiffs suggest 2 separate jury trials, one to decide Xcel's liability and another to decide whether to award damages. Xcel wants to try all 4,000 claims in the first trial. Attorneys for the homeowners argue that would be a quote-unquote logistical disaster. Instead, they want a smaller subset of homeowners to opt into a first trial, giving other homeowners the chance to sue for damages later.
Colorado's oil and gas wars are headed back to the ballot. Fossil fuel companies and environmentalists will vie for your vote to determine policy. The oil and gas industry and environmental groups are proposing dueling initiatives, and you'll see their petitions making the rounds before November. It's the first time Coloradans will weigh in directly on the state's oil and gas industry since 2018, when Governor Jared Polis brokered a deal to keep oil and gas initiatives off the ballot in 2020 and 2022. But they're back in a big way this year. Oil and gas advocates have filed a handful of proposals they say will prohibit government discrimination against non-renewable energy sources. That could block Colorado Democrats' efforts to transition to 100% renewable energy by the year 2040. A coalition of environmental groups have filed 3 ballot initiatives of their own. Those initiatives would make it easier to sue the oil and gas industry for damages and update the state constitution to include the right to, quote, have clean air and water and a healthful environment. They'll have to be approved by a state title board before advocates can gather petition signatures to put them on the ballot.